Hello, ladies and gentlemen, before you can change anything in your life, you have to see it clearly. Not the story you tell yourself about it, not the excuse that makes it feel safer, but the pattern as it truly is. Every negative habit, every emotional reaction that keeps pulling you backward follows a predictable loop. Something happens, you feel a certain way, you respond automatically, and you get the same result you've always gotten. The reason it feels so powerful is because it's familiar. Familiarity creates comfort even when it's painful. That's why awareness isn't passive, it's a decision. Most people say they want change, but they avoid looking directly at what they do when no one is watching. Real growth starts when you slow the moment down and ask better questions. What specifically triggers this reaction? Is it a tone of voice, a feeling of rejection, a moment of uncertainty? What do you do immediately after that trigger shows up? And most importantly, what does this pattern actually cost you? Not someday, right now. What does it steal from your energy, your confidence, your relationships, your future? When you connect enough pain to staying the same, your nervous system wakes up. Suddenly, the brain that was protecting you starts searching for a better solution. This isn't about judging yourself or feeling guilty. It's about becoming conscious. Patterns thrive in the dark, but they weaken the moment you shine a light on them. The instant you can say, this is the pattern, this is how it starts, and this is where it leads. You've already created distance between you and the behavior. And here's the turning point. Awareness gives you power. Once you see the pattern, you're no longer inside it. You're standing above it. And from that place, change becomes not just possible, but inevitable. Once you recognize the pattern, the next mistake most people make is trying to think their way out of it. They analyze it, they understand it, they even talk about it, but nothing changes. That's because patterns are not driven by logic, they're driven by emotion. In the moment when the pattern takes over, your body is already deciding before your mind has a chance to vote. So if you want a different outcome, you must change your emotional state first. Your emotional state is created by your physiology, how you breathe, how you move, how you hold yourself. When your shoulders collapse, your breathing gets shallow and your focus narrows. Your brain interprets that as danger or weakness, and it pulls you right back into the old behavior. But the second you change your posture, take a deep breath, move with purpose, your nervous system gets a new signal. And a new signal creates a new choice. This is not positive thinking. This is education about how the brain and body work together. Emotion is the fuel for action. No emotion, no movement. Low emotion, low quality decisions. High emotion, decisive action. That's why moments of real change happen when emotion shifts, when pain becomes stronger than comfort, or when desire becomes stronger than fear. You don't wait until you feel confident to act. You move your body and create confidence through motion. You don't wait until motivation shows up. You generate it by changing your state. When you take control of your physiology, you take control of your focus. And when you control your focus, you control your behavior, change your state, and the pattern loses its grip. Awareness and emotional control set the stage, but nothing changes until you interrupt the pattern in the moment. Patterns survive because they are automatic. They happen without your conscious approval. The second you feel the old behavior rising, you have to step in and break the loop. That moment is where your power lies. If you wait, the pattern will act for you, and the result will be exactly what it's always been. Interruption doesn't have to be complicated. You can do something as simple as physically moving, speaking out loud, or asking a powerful question. What's a better response right now? The key is to create a pause between the trigger and the automatic behavior. That pause is a doorway to choice, and choice is freedom. Every time you successfully interrupt a pattern, you weaken its hold on you and strengthen your ability to act intentionally. Most people fail because they think breaking a pattern is about resisting it internally. They fight the old behavior with willpower, and willpower is limited. True interruption requires creativity and decisiveness. You have to do something unexpected, something that shakes up your nervous system so it cannot rely on habit. That could be stepping outside, changing your environment, sending a message, or even shouting a word that reminds you of your goal. The point is not the action itself, but the conscious decision to stop the automatic response. Education here is simple. Patterns can only control you if you let them run unchecked. The instant you interrupt, you reclaim control. You are no longer a victim of habit. You are the architect of your choices. Each interruption is a step toward freedom, and every step compounds until the old pattern no longer defines you. The moment you interrupt, you create possibility. Breaking a negative pattern isn't just about stopping something, it's about replacing it with something better. Most people think if they quit a habit, the problem is solved, but nature hates a vacuum. If you remove a behavior without giving your brain a healthier alternative, the old pattern will return stronger than ever. The brain is wired for reward, and it will seek comfort, certainty, or relief wherever it can find it. That's why replacement is critical. You can't just say, I'll stop doing this. You have to ask, what will I do instead? Replacement works because it meets the same need in a new way. If the old pattern gave comfort when you felt stressed, find a healthier form of comfort that energizes rather than drains you. If it gave certainty in uncertain moments, create a new ritual or routine that provides structure and predictability. The more immediate and satisfying the replacement, the faster your nervous system will adopt it. Your brain doesn't care about morality or intention, it cares about results. Give it a better outcome, and it will follow. Education here is practical. Every time the old pattern arises, consciously activate the replacement. Repeat it until your body, mind, and emotions begin to expect the new behavior automatically. This is where real transformation happens, not by avoidance, but by substitution. When you focus on what to do instead, your energy shifts from resistance to creation. You're no longer trying to fight something. You're building something stronger in its place. The moment you replace a negative pattern with a positive, life-supporting behavior, you stop running from the past and start moving toward the future you want. Patterns don't disappear, they transform when you give your brain a better choice. Replacement turns struggle into progress, and progress becomes unstoppable. The final step in breaking any negative pattern is to anchor the change in your identity. Temporary wins are not enough. If you want lasting transformation, you must become the type of person who no longer engages in the old behavior. Change is not a series of actions, it is a shift in who you believe you are. When you say, I'm trying to change, you are still negotiating with the old pattern. But when you say, this is who I am now, the pattern loses its power because it no longer fits the person you've become. Identity is built through repetition and reinforcement. Every time you act in alignment with the new behavior, your nervous system updates. You don't have to force belief. Belief grows from action. The small victories compound, creating momentum that makes it harder and harder to revert to the old pattern. Your brain begins to see the new behavior as normal, natural, inevitable. And once that happens, change is no longer an effort, it's automatic. This is where education meets experience. Understanding the process is important, but embodying it is what transforms your life. Every choice you make, every time you interrupt the old pattern, every time you replace it with a healthier response, you are saying to yourself, this is who I am. This is how I operate. This is my standard. The more consistently you act from this identity, the stronger it becomes. Over time, the old pattern no longer tempts you because it is no longer aligned with the person you have committed to being. When you focus on identity rather than simply behavior, you create a change that is permanent. You don't just break a habit, you become a new person. And the moment you fully step into that identity, the pattern can no longer hold you back.